Hey there, it's Lenny McGill with the GlockStore Performance and Custom Shop here in the amazing Nashville studios today. And we're going to talk about triggers for your Glock Gen 6. And the Gen 6 is really hot. We sell every one we get, and people really like them. They've got some unique features, and one of the features that Glock did is kind of redesign the trigger. We're going to talk about triggers today. In fact, we're going to talk about taking this trigger out and installing the Timney trigger to give you a lighter, crisper trigger pull, which is important. Now, a lot of people are going to ask, why would I want a lighter trigger pull? The concept behind a lighter trigger pull is that as you pull the trigger, if it's heavier, you're having a greater chance to disturb the sight picture as you pull the trigger. So the lighter the trigger pull, the less chance you have of disturbing the sight picture. So as you get the gun up here, boom. If you're yanking on the trigger, and I'm exaggerating, but as you manipulate the trigger often, if it has a lot of pull to it, you start to yank it a little bit, and as your finger gets a little tired from shooting, the gun starts to go all over the place. So the lighter the trigger pull, the more accurate you'll be. All right, so this is, like I said, a Glock 17 Gen 6 with a stock trigger. This is a Glock 45 Gen 6 with the Timney trigger that we're about to install. The 45 features the full-size grip with the mid-size slide, which is a really nice package. And the 45s are really very popular. All right, so before we go too much further, I do want to tell you about our contest for the Penguin patch or the Penguin sticker. So anytime you order one of these, you're automatically entered into our contest to win something really, really nice. All right, so that's that. Now, before we go to the installation, let's test these triggers a little bit with our dead weight trigger weight. And this is the dead weight trigger weight. Each one of these are a pound. Here's a quarter pound, here's a half pound, here's another pound. On the bottom, we have a 3-pound weight, and then this is a 2-pound weight. So the stock trigger is typically between 5 and 5.5 pounds. So here's 5 pounds, and here's the stock Glock Gen 6 trigger. I'll put it right there. And it's not breaking yet. I'll give it a little wiggle. No. So how about that half-pound weight? And we'll make it 5.5. And I bet this will work. Right there. I want to make sure I am fair. There it is. So 5.5 is the number. So between 5.5 is the stock trigger. Now here is the Timney trigger, which we're about to install. I'll take the 3-pound weight off. And so now we have 2. I'll add 1. There's 3. And the package actually says 3-pound trigger. But what we found is that usually it's a little bit more, and as you shoot it, that wears itself in a little bit and will work itself down to that 3 pounds. So I'm going to start with 3.5 pounds for the Timney trigger. And I think this is probably where it's going to break. But we'll see. A little wiggle, no. So we're going to try it with the 3.25. So I take the quarter-pound weight. And we'll try that. There it is. So in reality, it seems to be between 3.5 and 3.25. That's a good number. And you'll also notice that the trigger is in the always out position. Many people are calling us and asking us, does Glock make a performance trigger for the Gen 6? And the answer is no, not at this time. However, this Timney trigger has some of the same features in the sense that it's in the out position or the unfired position always. So even though I rack the slide and pull the trigger, it springs right back out, which helps with resetting the trigger. All right, we're going to show you that when we go through the install. So that's the Gen 6 Timney trigger, and we're going to install it now in our Glock 17. All right. So first things first, we'll make sure the gun is empty, and it is. Boom. Pull the trigger in a safe direction. I'm going to pull my slide back just a little bit and pull down on the slide lock on both sides and hold down and then walk the slide off. And there we go. Okay, so we're not going to work with the upper because the trigger resides here. And we'll take out our trigger pin, our trigger housing pin, And then we're going to take the entire trigger mechanism out, and then we're going to replace it with, well, this Timney trigger. Now, here on the package, it says, making shooters great since 1946. And I will tell you that Timney triggers have been around for a long time, because I've been around for a long time. And they were here before I got here. So they've got a pretty good reputation. And here's what your package will look like. So I'll go ahead and pull out the trigger itself so we can inspect it. Now, what they have done here is pretty fascinating. Of course, there's a new trigger bar, right? And that's a totally separate trigger bar. It's not a factory trigger bar, but it's different. A couple springs, which are your reset springs, and actually the kind of the trigger mechanism, the sear type mechanism that is dropped into the trigger housing. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and take this apart. I'll get a punch out of my punch set here. A 3/32 inch punch still works for the Glock 17 Gen 6, as well as all the Gen 6 guns. And I'm going to take out that pin. Sometimes when you work on this pin, you need to manipulate the slide stop lever, because the pin is capturing that there, and there's some spring pressure on that. So you don't want to just beat on it. You want to make sure you get up on top of it with my chest and a little bit of weight, and it comes right out. It's pretty easy, but sometimes, like I said, it's stuck in there in those notches in the pin, and you'll have difficulty pulling it out. You don't want to beat on it with a hammer. You want to just manipulate that slide stop lever. And there's the pin itself. That's called a trigger pin. It's got the two notches, and I'll show you how they interact with that slide stop lever here in just a second. Okay, so that pin's out. Now I'll take my smaller punch and take out the trigger housing pin. This pin is plastic. Can usually come out with some little bit of finger pressure, and it did, and it's tiny, and there it is. Let me put them out here so you can actually see them. So trigger pin, trigger housing pin. All right, now we're able to remove the locking block. So I'll take my punch and just pry it straight out. Boom, just like that. Grab hold of it so it doesn't fly across the room. That would be the locking block. Okay. So now we can pull the entire trigger mechanism out by grabbing hold of the ejector and just pull it straight up. And here comes the slide stop lever and the Gen 6 trigger. Okay. Now, as I said, the slide stop lever intersects with this trigger pin, and this is where it gets kind of stuck, should I say, with that spring pressure here. That little spring actually pushes this up a little bit, and it actually intersects with those notches. So if you're stuck on that notch, sometimes it's hard to really get out. That's why when you jiggle this thing, it comes out like that. So that's the secret to removing that. And that's the slide stop lever, also known as a slide release. All right, now, the trigger itself, the Gen 6 trigger, has a stirrup inside the trigger housing. And of course, the trigger bar intersects with that stirrup, and that's what gives it its spring pressure back and forth. So first things I want to do is go ahead and remove that from that stirrup. Boom, boom, just give it a twist, just like that. This is the connector, all right? And it's going to stay there. I'm not going to have to play with that. I need to remove that stirrup. And to do that, it's captured in the trigger housing. Right here, there's a rod that runs up and captures that spring and captures that stirrup, and that's what has the spring pressure. So to remove that, I need to kind of push it forward and turn, or should I say lift, that little T up to that spot so that the whole thing comes out. So I'll take a punch and push that forward, the whole mechanism. And you should see it pop out of that hole. Let's see if I can show you here while I do it. There it is. Okay, you see it popping out? So now I got to push it up at the same time. And this takes 3 hands, but I think I'll get it working here for us. All right, easier said than done. I got to turn it around here so I can actually see it. There we go. Okay, I got it out. Now I got, like I said, I need a third hand here. Let me get my thumb positioned on it. Oops. Okay, this is what I'm trying to accomplish. I had to turn it around so I could actually get my fingers on it. So I'm pushing that piece up to the wider slot. And as I push it up there, it will then release itself and come out just like that. All right, so let's take a look at this thing real quick. You can see there's a little T right here. And that fits into the larger slot. And then you push it down and it captures itself right into the smaller slot. Pretty crazy, right? And so the objective is to take a punch and push it out and then push it up with your thumb or that third hand and get it up to that top slot, and then the whole thing drops out. So if I were to put it back in, I would put it into the top slot and push it back down. So that's basically how that works. So I don't want to lose that, so I'm going to put it off the side here because that is integral to this trigger housing and this whole mechanism. When you purchase a trigger housing for a Gen 6 or even a Gen 5, it comes with this installed because, as you can see, it's tiny and it's not sold as a separate piece. All right, so now onto the Timney trigger. So the objective with the Timney trigger now is to drop this in straight into the trigger housing. All right, and what's going to happen is this trigger is going to travel over top of this bar right here, and see that spring pressure? That's what we're looking for. We just drop it straight in like that. And that's it. And then we take the new trigger bar, which is right here, and you can see how it is shaped a little differently than the factory bar. Okay. This being the Timney bar, this being the factory bar right here with the cruciform. And they did a little different design on this top part of the trigger bar. So now we're just going to go ahead and put this into here. And that's basically it. So you'll see the motion we're looking for is right here. So the question you're asking yourself, well, how does it spring back? And that is performed by one of these springs. Okay? So first things first, showing you how that goes in, and now let's talk about this spring and how it works. So there's a hole right here, and there's another hole corresponding right down here, and this spring goes over top of this round part right here, this part for the trigger pin. So I'll grab the spring, and we're going to install it or just place it into those holes. You can see there's two legs to the spring, so one leg goes into these to one hole and the other goes the other way. So now there's two springs. There's a red one and a silver one. The red one is supposed to be better, a little bit stronger, so I'm going to use it. Okay? All right, so what it's going to do is going to sit in that hole there like that, but I've got to get it situated so that the legs go into the hole. Okay. There it is. So right there like so. Okay, and when it just goes straight like that. And that's what returns this trigger. So it's very important. You can see the spring pressure is going to be, springs captured by that channel that's in the trigger bar or trigger shoe itself. So let me turn it the right way up here so you can kind of see the orientation. And you can see the small hole on the back side where the trigger return spring, I'll call that, sticks out. And that's basically the installation, or should I say the assembly of the trigger bar. So now we're going to go ahead and drop it straight back into the gun and kind of orientate everything together so that it drops straight in. Okay, make sure it's flush, feels good. Okay, and now it's time to put in the slide stop lever first, okay? So we're going to nestle that across the, over top of the trigger, should I say. And again, that spring is sticking straight up and down. Slide stop lever goes in. Now here's a critical part. When you take your locking block, you need to make sure that that spring is underneath the bar of the locking block right here. All right, so the way I've been figuring this out is you're going to grab hold of that with your finger and pull it back, and then put your locking block in. And there you have it. So now it gives you the pressure you're looking for, the spring action. All right, so now it's time for our pins. So I can look inside there and see, okay, it's not quite lined up perfectly, and sometimes you'll need to push down on the slide stop lever to get everything lined up. I'll also take a punch every once in a while, get in there and kind of straighten everything up and then hold it there where it's at. Take my pin, like I said, old gunsmiths always told me to come in from the, take the pins out from one side, come in from the other side. So I'm always gonna, I took it out from the left to right, now I'm going right to left. And here's my nylon tipped hammer. It seems like it's gone in fine. And again, if you notice, I was holding that slide stop lever the whole way because I was keeping it out of the way of the pin as it came in. All right, so it's in there. The pin is a little bit more pronounced over here than it is on this side. So I'm going to take a punch and just kind of press down on it and get it to line up. And I heard a little tiny little click where that slide stop lever clicks into place. So it has the motion that I'm looking for. It's pretty crisp and pretty snappy. All right, and remember that spring is underneath that bar. So I pulled it down as I was putting the locking block in. And last, let me put the trigger housing pin in. I will tell you that I have assembled guns without the trigger housing pin, and it's not pretty. All right, now I want to true that up too with a punch so it's flush on both sides. So it doesn't intersect with my grip, and that's basically it. You can see it's got the pressure that I'm looking for, the spring action. And now, here's the original trigger. I'll just put this over here with that stirrup and that additional spring. And here is my upper. Goes on. Pretty crispy. And certainly lighter than the factory. And again, what's going to happen as you shoot this, it does wear itself in a little bit. So it may start at 3.5, and it's probably going to get down to 3. It may start at 4 and get down to 3.5. Like I said, also, you could also change out the connector and probably get a little better response on that as well, as far as a lighter trigger pull. So I'm going to start with the 3.5 pounds, because that's where I think this is going to fall. There it is. It gave a little wiggle, so maybe it's 3 3/4. But again, as you shoot it, it will work itself in. And if you're looking for, a better trigger experience for your Glock Gen 6, this is what's available now. It is very well thought out. And it's a whole different mechanism, as you saw. And it does provide a lighter, crisper trigger pull. I mean, it really does. You can feel the difference. You can see the difference right here based upon the stock. So if you're looking to upgrade either your Glock Gen 6 17, 19, 45, which are available now, the Timney trigger is a great option. Well, it's really the only option at this time. But it's cool. I'm liking it because it is better than the factory. That said, I'm Lenny McGill. This, of course, is the GlockStore Performance and Custom Shop here in Nashville, Tennessee. We've got triggers for all the different Glocks. So if you're ever in Nashville, come on down and see us. You can try triggers out in our range. You can try all the different pieces and parts. It's a unique range. It's not a lane. Okay, we shoot in multiple directions at multiple targets in a private shoot range, which I think you'll really enjoy. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.